You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa! What up, mi gente? It's your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, folks, we got an amazing guest. My homie here does it all. He wears many hats. He's a letterer, a writer, an author, a publisher. He is an unstoppable force of unstoppable comics. The one, the only JayDee Rosario.
What is up, Streamland? And my little nigga. What up,
hey,
baby? What's
going on, bro?
How you doing tonight?
Huh? I'm doing great, bro. Thanks for coming on, bro. Look at folks, you saw that picture before you came on. This is one of the happiest men in comic books, man. And an unstoppable force. Some truth and some business right there.
I love that.
I'm happy to have him on. But I haven't spoken to this man in 4 years back in Undercover Capes. And this is his debut on Comic Crew Pod. So, man, I'm so happy to have you and introduce you to me gente here and talk about what you've been doing, the dopeness of your label, the new projects, the new things you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, amazing growth since the time I've met you back in New York Comic Con when we were having a good time.
Yeah.
So, amazing to see you from the corner booth to so many more titles. So keep on winning, bro. So let's do it. For folks that don't know, tell us, JayDee. I need an origin story. Where are you originally from, and what was your first love in fandom?
I am originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Hey, that's right. Hey.
my family's from Puerto Rico. I'm first generation, born out here, and I grew up with not a lot of money. So the cheapest things that I can find as a kid were comic books and G.I. Joes. And that's where my imagination sprung from, brother, right? This G.I. Joe and that Cobra acted like this or that superhero and villain from whatever book I was picking up for 50 cents a pop. And it was that was it, brother. That was it. That's where everything started for me.
Where in Brooklyn, and where did you get your books?
All right. So I'm from a little part of East New York called Starrett City. But my grandmother lived in Bushwick. So that was the concentrated Spanish Latino area of Brooklyn. And every Saturday when we would go to grandma's, there was a little bodega on the corner. And he used to sell used comic books for 50 cents a pop.
Okay.
So for
used comic books? Okay.
Used comic books.
Love it.
And it's funny because years later, I mean, within the last 3 years, pandemic time of this whole springing of live stream, I met the son of that owner.
Oh, where?
And I'm like, yo, bro, I bought your used comic books, kid. And when we found out, when we put two and two together, he was like, yeah, those that was my dad's shop. And I was like, so was buying your used books and stuff? He goes, yeah. So it's cool how this world comes together and how small it is, right? So for $2, I was picking up 4 different comic books. And there was a little, if you're a New Yorker, there's these little Asian shops that sold knickknacks and luggages and toys.
The robots, kid. I was all over the Messenger, the Japanese.
Oh
toys.
My Messenger, bro! You know how many people don't know about Messenger? I love Messenger. In Puerto Rico, that's where I learned about him.
Me too, bro. Bro, high five, virtual high five on that, bro.
What was it? Puño Plutónico. I was
bro.
Oh man, my wife tried to get me. She was looking to get me one of those Shogun Warriors.
Bro. Northeast Comic Con event. Actually, no, at Wicked Con event they had it. They had the Messenger complete. He wanted, what was it? Like $3 bills for it.
She said, no way. And I understood because, but man, I wanted that so bad. I wanted that so bad, brother.
No, when I saw it, I had that as a kid, that specific one. So it's like a flashback. And let me tell you, I mean, even though I'm in a position that I can, if I wanted to, but I was like, nah, that's really money misspent right now.
Yeah. But yet. You know what? Spend that shit.
If you were there with me, you would have been that poison dart that they needed. So just, okay, I did it.
100%. Look, I'm to this day, I'm still a big toy guy. Still a big toy guy. Right, but the dream chase is always the USS Flag from GI Joe. But whatever, we don't have the space for that, right? But the wife on the low, she got me good. I don't know if you know about the HasLab Galactus that came out a few years ago.
Yes.
And things were tight. I cannot say they weren't. Things were tight, right? This was pandemic still. We didn't know what was happening from month to month. So we had to sit on our nest egg, and I passed on it, right? And we would always joke back and forth and be like, "Baby, I'm getting that Galactus. And with little things, little tonterías, I'd say, I'm earning Galactus points, right? And she's like, "Baby, we can't." And bro, this year for Christmas, she got me that Galactus.
No,
and I'm
way.
Just like, oh my God. You know how many things I got to do for you now?
You better be a good boy. Wepa.
What?
Breakfast in bed, all that, with the apron on.
Everything, brother. But yeah, so toys have always been my jam. I cannot deny that. They used to be a lot cheaper. So, I mean,
of course.
Yeah, my father passed away when we were very young. I was 6. My sister was 3. My mom was picking up jobs, as a housemaid. And so money was tight. So like I said, comic books were 50 cents a pop. G.I. Joes were $2 or $2.50, right?
Yeah.
So, birthday money, I was like, woo, I was going ham on that. Because you could get a lot for a little bit, and things have changed. But again, that's where my imagination sprang from, the toys and the comics as a kid.
Excellent. So as the imagination sprung, how did that lead into you being creative?
Oh man, I was always a dreamer, right? And we grew up in New York, and in the 80s, New York wasn't the safest place to be, right?
No, it wasn't.
so
it was a good time though.
It was a great time. It was
it wasn't safe, but it was a fun time.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I mean, we'd stay out till the lights shut off. But to keep me home, other aunts and uncles and even mom at the time, they would buy me comic books because they know, boom, I would read it, right? And video games. Nintendo wasn't here yet. It was still Atari. Atari didn't have the
well, wait, but to them everything's Nintendo.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, bro. You get Sega, Xbox. Is that the new Nintendo?
Oh my God, bro! It was like, "Mina, I got you a new Nintendo game, but I don't have Coleco." So, but it was the love. The love was there, and very early on, that's the great thing about being poor, right? You learn to appreciate the smallest little gestures, bro.
Well,
right?
I had secondhand Ataris, bro, and I still have them working to this day because that's how much I appreciated even having them at that time.
Bro, I still have the old adapters that went for the Atari.
Oh shit, me too. Bro, I still got it for my 26 over here, baby.
Yeah, you never got rid of that. So the imagination blossomed during that period, and it was nurtured by the family. I was lucky that the village gave my mom a big hand in raising us, right? Family for us is strong for a lot of Puerto Ricans, for a lot of Latinos, right? Family is we don't have cousins, right? We've just got extended brothers and sisters. And it was my dad's sister took me to my very first comic book shop, right? My grandmother, when we would be in the pueblo in Caguas, she bought me, a Captain America comic book. And I don't know if you remember Captain America 334. That was the one where the new Captain America and the new Bucky, John Walker and Lamar Hoskins came in, right?
Yeah.
And one is white and one is black.
Yeah.
And his grandma, Afro-Latina with the blowout, right? And when we're picking up the comic book out of the pharmacy, she goes, one looks like you and one looks like me. And that for me is like, even though the one is a guy, you know what I mean? She still identified
Yeah.
something for me to bond with her. So
Nice.
that, play that off the macro, and everybody in the family just had something to do with it, and helping me and my sister and encouraging the arts with us.
Beautiful. 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 So talk about taking those steps to put creative product out there. How did that even happen? When did you decide to be crazy enough to take the dip?
um, I was stupid and I was ignorant, right? There were internship programs, right?
All right.
But coming from a poor family, you don't work for free. So the internship programs were not something that I could have pursued at that time. And even in college, excuse me, even
And
high school.
parents wouldn't even understand it, even if you wanted to. They wouldn't understand
Yeah,
it. ¿Quién trabaja de gratis? You know.
exactly. Mommy, I got to go to work. How much you bringing in? That
Esa
wasn't
cosa
gonna
de
happen.
pendejo.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
old school island folks come with this very backward mentality that they just don't get what it really takes. They have a different way to struggle, like
Correct.
not understanding
Correct.
the new sacrifices that need to be made to move forward.
It's they always think about the hard work, right? And so many of the elders in my family were that blue collar, right? They were the ones that worked at the airport tossing bags. They were the ones that worked in the commissaries of the buildings. They were the ones that was doing the, I hate to say, grunt work, not in a demeaning way, right? But
Yeah.
they did the hard labor work because
Yep.
that's what they understood. They were the locksmiths, the plumbers, right?
Hmm.
And it instilled in me that hard work ethic, right? And with my sister, she's a doctor, right? So that worked out somewhere. It clicked for somebody else, right? You had one smart enough to become a doctor. You had one smart enough, but still stupid enough to go into the world of comic book publishing.
The arts, yeah,
Yeah,
the arts, because
yeah,
again, another thing that they
yeah.
also not gonna understand.
No, and so I always wanted to do this. And in the late '90s, you had the emergence of print on demand. So those small little fanzines or ash cans that I made, okay, let's see if we can blow that up and take those same 8 to 12 pages and see what we could do with a small little floppy book. And
Okay,
that
so
started the addiction.
that started the addiction. So was it named Unstoppable at the time when you started right off
No.
the bat, or was that you just throwing random stuff out into
Yeah,
the
no,
world?
it started off first as Gateway Comics, and then it became Storm Chasers Comics, and then it became Unstoppable Comics. Not because I thought I was this great big force of destruction, but because I felt at the time I was this the little train, the engine that could, right? I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And we did, right? We kept going. There were a hell of a lot of speed bumps, right? But we pushed through and we persevered to this day.
So before we get about how you developed the universe for the folks, how long since that day to now has Unstoppable been around?
Okay, so Unstoppable was legitimately termed in May of 2008. So this May 29th, we will be celebrating our 16-year anniversary.
Woo! Whoa, 16 years
Thank you.
independent comic book.
Thank
Come
you.
hear that, folks?
Thank
Independent
you.
comics, 16 years.
Yeah,
Woo!
baby.
That
Rock
is
and rolling.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's just the big thing. Now let's get back to see why they've been in existence for so long. Talk about building that universe. Talk to me a bit about some of the characters you've built, and who was the first? Who was the first character out the
Well,
new stable, and how did that bleed into making a universe?
well, as a child of Puerto Rican ancestry, of Puerto Rican descent, I learned about Taino Indian mythology when I was in college. And one of the things that stood out to me was the myth of the Cave of Life and Marocael or Marocel. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I know it's spelled Marocael.
Okay.
And he was the guardian from which all the Tainos believed that he was the guardian of this cave that all the Tainos believed life sprang forth from. And the birds, the trees, the air, the water, everything came out of the cave. And one day he fell asleep, and he was turned to stone by the spirit of Mother Earth. And when I read the myth, I believe it was either they named her either Atebaria or Wigwibara. I know both terms are used. I don't know which one was the specific one. So that always stuck with me. And everyone goes into their, I guess, their vanilla mode, right? Their most iconic representation when they're stealing from an archetype. And the archetype that I was stealing from was Superman. How do I play off of that? How do I make a Puerto Rican Superman without making him look like Captain Superman wearing the flag and stuff like that?
Yeah.
One of the big things with us is boxing, right? We love boxing. It's a huge boxing and baseball is right. That's part of our culture. And I tied that into the myth, and I came up with a boxer who was tarnished, who had a lot of dirt on his face, and he stepped on a lot of toes on his way up. So when the time came and some things became exposed over juicing himself, right? He was ripped apart in the media. And then he found out that he was this descendant, and a lot of people go that route because they feel legacy is something that's great to build upon. So I came upon that and tied that into he being a descendant of the woman in my story that our great mythological protector, Marukail, had fell in love with. And, he was there to repay or to carry on the legacy for the demons that this guy had let through into our plane when he fell asleep. So I tied that in, and what I found out as I'm building Unstoppable Comics is selling just a Puerto Rican Superman type character really isn't going to bring the major bucks in, right? But now that I'm putting my money where my mouth is, it doesn't just have to be that one character. How many others do I feel in my personal life were underserved? And that's where I built up that team. And our first book was The Storm Chasers. And we had this team of what I felt was underserved characters. One of my best friends growing up, his mom was Puerto Rican and his dad was from Thailand. So we took that Thai mysticism that I learned about growing up by spending time with the family, and we incorporated that instead of just the Asian martial artist generic gimmick. So we went with something like that. And not far from me growing up is Far Rockaway. And if you know New York, Far Rockaway and Liberty Boulevard has the strong West Indian influence over there. So that's where we got our character named Rockaway for that. So it wasn't like I was just out there playing racial bingo. I took from what I grew up with, right? Who I knew, who were my neighbors, who were the people I went to school with.
And that's New York, that's Brooklyn, that's how we grow up.
Brother.
A lot of people don't understand that because it's the cities that are like that. The rest of the country ain't like that.
I know, and it's hard trying to figure that out because I moved out of New York for a little while, and when I was in Virginia, I didn't have that same energy that I had here, right? It was it was like going to another country. It was learning another culture, right? And I'm like, that's not how it happens back home. And that acclimation process wasn't so easy for me to get used to.
Yeah, brother, you and me both. And when I was in Florida, so I rather come back up north because I ain't dealing with that nonsense.
Where were you? Tampa, Orlando, Clearwater?
In Orlando. I'll tell you this much. I was in Orlando. You think nice, right? One day I come out to go to the store, to the local 7-Eleven, driving. On the corner of my block was a Nazi party protest. I kid you not. And then the following week, a white power protest. Two different people. and things happen. I was like, oh my. So my family at the time was like, yo, you wouldn't. I took pictures so I could prove it. I was like, yo, this is up the block. They at that moment they no longer felt comfortable in the hood.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I had elements of that in Virginia, right? and classism played a big part,
Yeah.
not just racism. And I was like, I get it. That's why New York is the best place, baby. Don't get me wrong. We got our shit out here. I'm not going to say no. I cannot deny that, right? There's some days that I'm here and I'm like, oh, mother, right? But I mean.
That's me driving in the city on the weekend.
100%, bro. Yeah.
Folks, if you just want to get your blood pressure going, if you suffer from low blood pressure, just drive a weekend in Manhattan, and I guarantee that you'll be healthy in no time. All right.
Yeah. You'll be lucky if you only get 5 blocks in 2 hours, but I mean, it's it'll get that blood flowing, baby.
Don't remind me. That was my weekend driving. So on this comic world, so you're creating this whole universe. How big is the universe of titles in the Unstoppable comic book?
So now we just finished successfully launching our 8th title within the Unstoppable Comics catalog. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, dude.
8 titles. That's amazing. And what was the name of that title?
So the name of that one is called Limbo, Open Almost All Eternity.
Oh, this one right here?
That
just got funded recently?
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. We just finished successfully funding May 3rd. So we're in the middle of fulfillment on that one right now. And it is the story of a former priest who is now the Lord of Darkness. So the main bad guy down there in the underworld has gone missing. And somehow this person who lost his faith is now in charge of everything that's going on down there. Problem is, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So what does he do? He spends most of his time drinking in a bar called Limbo with other demons. And while he's doing that, everything in the underworld is starting to fall apart and people are gunning for his head. So now the story picks up with this new Lord of Darkness, the former priest, trying to figure out how to keep things together at the same time, trying to continue doing his job and figure out what happened to Lucifer.
Holy smokes, yo. Look at I love it. Yo, folks, and it has the video. Check that out on. But look at this. Look at these covers, folks. Woof. You said this is a fulfillment.
So we had a mix of new covers. We had a mix of covers that were. So this is the first book that I'm publishing. That is.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, look, folks. You see the growth of this guy. Wait a minute. Your first book you're publishing out of the family.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes. So this is even a bigger thing.
Yes.
Oh my, and they got congrats again. Guys, you see an unstoppable force. I ain't lying.
Bro, yeah. So the colorist that one of the colorists that I work with did work on this book, and he introduced me to the writer, and the team wants to get a foothold here in the States. So we worked out, we started talking, and we've definitely vibed with each other, and we brought this to the table. This is going to be a 3-issue miniseries. So covers B and C were originally the Colombian releases, and then covers A and D were brand new covers for here in the States.
Dope. And I'm digging it. I'm digging it. And look at this. Oof, look at that coloring, that artwork, that line work, everything. Jeez, yo.
So the artist on this is Francisco Maldonado, and he's from Spain. And the colorist is Champe Ramirez, and he's from Colombia. And the writer is Gabriel Gamora, and he comes out of Colombia as well.
I'm digging it, and the music here kills me. It sounds like the old school music your parents be listening to.
Bro,
eso música.
Yeah, they were asking me, should they translate the music and put something that is, understood here in the States? And I said, no, leave it like that, right? Because it shows the authenticity of where the book still comes from, right? Yeah. We're keeping the heart of its original publication alive, even though we're putting an English stamp on it.
Yeah, because you're translating the characters. At the very least, let the music go. All right.
That's it, brother. That's it.
What is that? Is that an old school song, or is that a bachata? You listen?
I have no clue, bro. I have no clue.
What do you think this poor guy will listen to in Limbo? So,
bro,
Jose Feliciano or something.
Yo, I like Jose Feliciano.
Oh, bro, hey.
I love that.
There you go. That's Jose Feliciano. So most likely he didn't even know, bro. There we go.
The closest I got to Jose Feliciano was one of my friends growing up. His mom was his neighbor, right? 6 degrees of separation. I was like, whoa, you knew him, right?
Like 6 degrees. Shit, my cousin looked exactly like Jose Feliciano when he was a young guy.
Really?
I was dying, yo. He looked just like him. Bro. I said, yo, can you close your eyes and rock back and forth?
Yeah. If all he needed to do was walk around with the guitar, he could have been signing some autographs, bro.
Yo, but he had an all-the-time cosplay, you know?
He had the look.
Yo, bro, who's this guy?
He's one of the demons.
Asshole.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So when the story starts off, you got our new Lord of Darkness, and like I said, all he wants to do is have a drink. That's it, right?
And that's him right here.
And that's him right there.
With the big
there's people in the bar that they're talking about him. They want to know what's going on, and there's rumors of who this person is because nobody really knows. Nobody's really seen him. And this guy's just like, yo, you're drinking the last beer here that I wanted. You give it to me. And it's like, hell to the fuck no. Excuse me. I just shouldn't have said it like that. I'm so sorry. He was like, hell no. And what we find out very quickly is that the Lord of Darkness has somebody watching his back.
And this is an adult show, don't you worry.
Oh, all right.
So long as we don't curse in the first 10 seconds, YouTube says we're fine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So okay. Don't start off your show with a curse. Yeah, that's right. The Boricua, Carlos Rafael. There we go. I got to roll them Mars. How you doing, bro?
Carlos is good people. He's over there in the West Coast right now.
Hey, in the West. He's a Bordy on the West?
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Yeah. You hardly hear about Bordies on the West Coast, man.
No, they are prolific. They are prolific, yeah.
They love them earthquakes, yo. Get out of here, bro. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, man, but look at this. Who's that? That's the shorty or someone?
No, that's the one that she's watching his back. So that's we learn later on that she is, for this series, the mistress of lust. And she seduces people. And on the low, that's how he got the job, right? She seduced him to fill that position.
Hey, man, dirty business. Look at this.
Exactly.
Oh, damn, he hit that? My gosh.
Yes.
So he needed a step stool for that one, though.
That was done by Jorge Velasquez. And that's on one of the cards that, well, we didn't hit that stretch goal, but it was also on the cover of the original Colombian released. And we were telling people where it was going. Here's the rest of the team that went into doing this.
Excellent, yo.
Yeah, and one of the covers, the new North American cover, it popped. People were jamming for it. So we turned that into a T-shirt, and that did pretty well as well.
That is fire. And look at this line up of other books. Who is Vicky Sticks? That looks so badass. My daughter would love this book.
Oh, bro. So this is our 7th title. And she is, for lack of a better term, our female Frankenstein archetype, right? Okay. But as the story goes on, there's going to be more to it than that. But she's the one that protects the creatures that go bump in the night, or at least avenges them. We didn't really have any supernatural books in the catalog. One of the good things about publishing your own stuff is you get to see where there's gaps or different stories that you want to tell. And one of the things I felt was lacking for me, or that I was starting to feel a little bit, were my supernatural oats, right? One of my favorite movies as a kid was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. I don't know if you remember that.
Classic. Absolute right? Classic.
Yeah. WPIX used to play it like maybe once every 2 months. Right? So Monsters, that Universal style, was always with me. So that's where we go with that one. And here was our holochrome cover set. So some people wanted a little bit more. Some people want that collectible vibe. And these were the well, from the video there, I mean, you don't really have to play it, but you can see the shine. It has a nice gleam edge on the books.
Sexy.
Yeah, and I don't have a frequent flyer program, right? Oh. So we were offering that same holochrome treatment for cards on trading cards for anybody who was coming back Anybody who had supported us before, they'd be getting one of those for free just because they keep showing us love.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, and we took a little bit of a hit, but it's worth it to say thank you to everybody who's been with us for 16
that's
years.
showing love. You see, that's what indie do. Marvel DC don't do that for you.
Yeah, bro. They come
Oh
up with
my
the premium
God.
stuff.
And look at the line up in its entirety, I would guess, right? These are all the books?
These are all the single issues that we still have left in print.
We have left. Oh my God, these are the last first prints?
Yeah, these are the last first prints. So a lot of
folks,
other things.
Collectors, before these become movies.
Before they're gone, right? And so there's that. There's a few more. And, you know, what isn't left in print for the single issues, we still have in the graphic novels, which are pulling up.
Ooh.
And we have quite a few trades still. We got our Dragon Sword book, a Shield of the Interceptor book. We've got our Unstoppable Origins book. And we've got our character guide. So if anybody loved that old Marvel Universe handbook.
Oh, dude, I've been trying to finish that run. Every time I find some individually. I'm almost there. I'm missing a couple of letters.
What are you
volume 1?
I see how fine. Yeah. From
I'll send you my list from the volume 1 Marvel Universe.
Good. So you're looking for the 83 books.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I love those.
Did you ever get the poster of that one?
No. But my favorite one was always the Book of the Dead. That lineup. Dude, when I would read through that, I was like, damn, how could these guys get killed? I mean, how? These are so badass dudes and women here. Like, what the fuck? How's it possible? Right?
You know, we thought, stupid us, we thought that was the end of it. Little did we know it's comic books, right? How many times did Captain Marvel come back or Count Nefaria or the Red Skull? But they were in the Book of the Dead.
Yeah, absolutely were, right? Because they died at least once.
They died at least once. And then there's our Storm Chaser book. But now, if people want our digital books, okay, these are our digital single issues.
Nice.
So they could have rock and rolled with that. They could pick that up on the website now or in the next Kickstarter that's coming up.
Oh, man, the next Kickstarter. You mean this one right here?
That one. So we have Storm Chasers Volume 2. I'm saying it's Storm Chasers Volume 1 and 2, but we're looking to raise the money to print up the second trade, which collects issues 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right now, it measures at 100 pages with a character gallery, with a cover gallery and a chibi gallery, but it has an opportunity to expand to more than 100 pages with some of the stretch goals that we've got lined up.
No, but that's nice, man. You could get a graphic novel at 100 pages, 4 issues, all wound up into one baby. So first, look at that. Right now, folks, it's right there. Hit the notify button.
That's it.
Follow.
Baby.
That's all you gotta do. Then you're gonna get dinged, so that way you could go ahead and support this baby. Absolutely. And if you want any of those books, that's what visit that website right here. Look at that lineup. You come on, folks.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. But listen, I could say that our books are well worth the money you're going to spend on it.
Yes, they are. Trust you me. If you've not been to a con in New York and not been to a booth of his, let me tell you, you find quality content, a big smile, and a man that's there hustling for real. A dope lineup of books. All right. So this is the next one. So when's the expected date again?
So this one should be launching the first Saturday in June.
Excellent, folks. Mark that on your calendars, folks. Get ready to spend that money because I know them tax checks still coming in. Then
they're rolling, baby. Save a few bucks for us. Save it.
Yeah, yo.
Right?
I mean, come on. For 100 pages of pure entertainment for an amazing independent creator, and come on, he's gonna hook it up with some dope goodies.
Brother, we're not doing this with a rich uncle. We're not doing this with VC money, right? We're not doing this with a major sponsor behind us. We're doing this with the money that comes from the people that continue to support us. Right? Carlos, thank you, brother. They're cool, they're fun, and his books are quality. He's also good people. Carlos, you're the man, bro. Carlos is money. Carlos is money. His books are in diamond right now. And he's got great retail distribution. And one of the great things about the comic book community, right? Podcasters like yourself, other independent creators, we know each other, right? We travel, if not within the same circle, within circles that intersect with everybody else. And we know who the quality people are. We know who the genuine people are. And we know when there's people out there who are not trying to keep anybody down. If I know something, I'm going to put you on. If you know something, you're putting me on, right? And everybody lifts each other, bro. That's what happens, man. Yeah. That's what happens.
But some people do not have that nature like us, Jay. Some people agree. Some say, hey, figure it out. Like, that's kind of messed up. Me, listen, I don't want nobody to struggle like I did it. Because maybe I tell you something that you could probably take on to a level that I didn't know. And hopefully you'll be kind enough to say, hey, you know what? I did what you did plus this. And they got me here. So maybe you could do that in a wonderful flow of that symbiotic energy so we could all level up. Everybody eats at the table, not just
100%. 100%. Because if I'm putting you on, you know what? Most people will remember once they level up. Oh, yo, like you said, this is how I did this. Check this out, right? And maybe it may not work for you, but at least you can attempt it. At least it gives you a direction to try to go after, right? You asked for what one of my inspirations was, and I didn't want to be negative, but I do remember being on the other side of the tables at a convention and, showing up with my little book and getting brushed off, again, to get away from me, kid, kind of attitude. And that hurt, that stung. So when I do my boots, and I know you've seen this, I try my best not to do that to anybody else, right? Because you don't want to discourage that. Even if that art style needs some polish, right? You want to let them know, bro, this is not my style right now. But if you work on X, Y, and Z, you could be at your own table too. Right? You want to encourage people. Absolutely. You want to show them what you didn't get.
Absolutely. I've been blessed with a wonderful team at Comic Crusaders, and I've seen many of them grow, write novels, do film, become their own publishers,
Nice.
So, shit, it's like seeing my children grow up. I couldn't be more happy to support them further in their career, you know what I mean? Even if they leave me, you know what I mean? I'm always going to be that Papa Bear figure. Like, I got your back, yo. Bless.
And that's your legacy tree. You know what I'm saying, bro? It came from that. And I've had people that have worked with me that have moved on, that have done other things. Like one of the guys who wrote with me, his name is Brandon Easton. That Jack is he wrote
the boss right now.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Brandon's making moves, man.
Yeah,
Brandon's making a lot of moves, and I'm so happy to see him excel. One of the guys who did work with me early on, Russ Leach. Russ was drawing Doctor Who in the UK. Come on, bro. That's a premium IP over there. Here too, and here he is. He's drawn that, and I feel excited when I see my people blowing up. Shit, bro. It's just it's one of the many hidden gems of working in comic books.
It is absolutely, and networking and seeing people go. Because again, for me and you, and seeing, I've seen only a couple of books to see how many titles you have now, and then the next steps that you've taken. That is amazing, yo. I'm like, wow, my brother keep doing it. What? You ain't trying, you doing, son.
Thank you.
Love this.
Thank you.
This is right. Yeah, brother. That's what it is, Carlos. Feel discovered, move on to bigger things. Proud moments, yo.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, brother. So where can people see you next? Are you doing any local conventions? I know you're wrapping up this campaign, but are you going to be anywhere where you could buy these books in person?
Yes.
And get some of this Rosario verse book stuff.
Yes. So the weekend of January 19th, I believe it's 17th through the 19th, I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. for AwesomeCon.
Oh, of course. Well, you're already planning next year.
No, that's in what 8 weeks?
You said January.
Holy shit! I said January. I'm in June. Wow, bro.
All right, damn. JD is living in the future right quick, son. Like, yeah, ya pasa, ya ven la clima. Yeah, bro.
Bro,
Power.
it's funny. I'm not trying to big time myself when I say this, but I got a lot on my plate. I got a programming schedule with one book every 2 months from here up until September of 2025.
Whoa.
Some of those include a couple graphic novels, and one of those graphic novels is going to be an original graphic novel from one of my frequent collaborators. His name is Granda, and it's going to be a YA book about a young lady who's dealing with her nightmares, her night terrors that are coming into the real world. That's going to be an original full color. I think it's a 120-page graphic novel.
I need to read that because I deal with night terrors. God
Really?
knows what I'm putting out in the world.
So it's if you're good with reading Spanish, I can send that to you, bro.
Oh, seguro que sí. I'm a Boricua, baby. Oh man,
Yo,
from New York. From the
okay.
80s. We the last generation that knows how to read, write, and speak it.
Oh my God, you are absolutely right. And you know what? It's my generation that was the borderline, right? It was my group of our generation that was a borderline, because I got cousins 5 and 6 years younger than me. They'll understand it, but they can't speak it, and they definitely can't write it.
Yeah, my daughter and her grandmother is the funny situation. My daughter speaks to her in English, and the grandmother responds in Spanish, and they totally understand each other.
I know. And I saw that happen within the family.
I love it.
Bro, the summers I spent in Puerto Rico, that's 2 months of you don't speak English.
Yeah, and you walk barefoot, and you eating pachas, quenepas, mangos, right off them joints, fresh.
Bro, my grandparents had the tree of parchas in the back.
Oh.
They had the parchas, panapen, limones, aguacates. Bro, Grandpa had this huge fucking tree that every year would put out 200 to 300 avocados.
Oh,
and
my God.
He would use that to trade with the other guys that have fincas that would just, okay, this one had the chickens, this one had the cows, and we get milk and we get eggs and
nice.
Just to swap in avocados, bro.
The old school bartering system.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Right? Everybody lived. That's it.
100%.
Easy peasy, right? What happened, man?
I don't know.
Que vida triste. I'm about to get me some Johnny Walker and start listening to some bachata like homie. Like, oh my God, what's going on?
Oh man, bro. Listen, you put a bottle in front of me, I could celebrate with a couple shots myself. You know?
Shit. Nah, man, celebrate. That's right. Celebrate these continued wins, these continued successes. All right. In June, you're gonna be at Awesome Con. And after that's the only show you're doing this year. Or how many?
Right now, that's the only one we got booked. We're still waiting to hear on stuff from New York Comic Con, and this is going to be, if we get through, this is going to be the first time we're doing New York Comic Con since the pandemic.
You haven't been back since?
No. So we had some family illnesses, and mom was living with us, and she's going through chemo. She was going through chemo, and you don't want to risk bringing that back home. Right. And then last year, my wife had, we were gearing up for a major surgery with her, which honestly got delayed. It kept getting pushed back and X, Y, and Z until just 2 months ago. But we didn't book it again because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't want to bring anything back to her. We wanted her to be clean and not have any more complications going into that surgery. So, what do? You chase the dream, or do you protect the ones that you love? And
always protect the ones you love. You sacrifice the dream.
That's it.
That's what men do. We sacrifice our dreams for family.
100%, brother.
That's what men do.
Hell, fucking yeah. That's what a man does, bro. That's what right. You go to the bottom of the totem pole, right? You become the foundation, right? As long as everybody else is good, that's when you're good.
Yep. Yeah. Who
right?
cares?
Your
Everybody
right?
fine. I'm fine. That all
That's
that
it.
matters. I mean,
That's it.
whatever comes extra is just that extra. And thank you, Lord, for the
Yeah.
blessing. You
And
know,
I take that same mentality into the world of publishing, right?
beautiful.
As long as the team is good, I'm good, right? I got to make sure this is where the stress comes in. This is where, right, the hair starts to turn gray. You see, I'm
I
getting that
mean,
Nick Fury
you got the
rebirth,
re
baby.
riches, bro. You
Yeah,
got the size, bro. You got the re
yeah,
riches going, bro.
yeah.
I'm
You know,
already done, bro. Forget about it. Look at this.
yeah. But the money that we bring in, goes to make sure that their families eat, to make sure that has food on the table. And that's on my shoulders. I got to make sure that that's coming through. So I got to make sure that our ducks are lined up in a row.
There we go, man.
Yeah.
All right, so last tidbit here, my homie, because I know you got another appointment coming up real
All right.
soon.
I'm here
I
with you,
know
baby.
he's the busiest man in the business. I'm telling you, unstoppable comics because he's an unstoppable force. He don't
Have
stop.
to.
A
Have
freight
to,
train
bro.
of marketing and getting things done, man. So, give me a tidbit of advice you give, cats trying to step into the game now, based on on these wonderful years of knowledge you've had
Okay.
building Unstoppable.
Never say no to yourself. There's going to be enough people out there in the world that are going to tell you no. But don't be the one that says no to yourself, because if you do, you are going to be feeding into their negativity. You're going to be feeding into their concept of you not being good enough. So don't give them that opportunity. Never say no to yourself. And once you're able to do that, you have this freedom, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Fuck that. I could do whatever I want. I could tell
Yeah.
whatever story I want. And understand that you're going to learn. You're going to fall flat in your face. You're going to lose money. It's going to happen. But don't take it like it's a shot to the gut. Learn from it, right? You're going to learn more from failing than you are from succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, again, why you say never say no to yourself. Because if you say no, maybe I shouldn't do a superhero book. Fuck that. Do it. Tell that story.
Yes.
And learn how to tell a story. Learn how to build a book. Learn how to collaborate with others. Learn how to market that property. Learn how to put together a good publishing concept on how you're going to bring this book forward. And just, never say no to yourself. And don't be afraid to fail. It's going to happen. And understand that you're going to get so much more information from that failure.
All right, since you're saying about getting the knowledge and all that, is there any recommended place you would, a resource, if you will, that you would tell somebody here, seek maybe this to help you get started?
Yeah. This here, podcasts like yours, bro, right? Because you and other podcasters are the ones talking to us who have the boots on the ground, who are learning stuff firsthand, who are not charging people for a premium master class, right? This is where we're sharing that information, right? You and other podcasters are asking questions that we may not have even thought of speaking about. So that information is there. And the great thing about podcasts is, you could be driving in your car and you turn on a podcast, you can listen to it. You could be on the train and you've downloaded one, right? And you got it and you're listening to it. You could be on a flight, right? You could be listening to this while you're working on other product, right? Use podcasts like this as that white noise that you want to have in the background, right? Because this is where that information is, bro. You are the school. I guarantee you, if you had someone transcribe every podcast, you could write novels worth of information that people can have out there. Yeah. So this is it, right? It's no longer the school of hard knocks. It's the school of live stream.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. And me, I only go live. I only love going live. My people go pre-recorded, not my ass. Let's do it, baby. If we're gonna fumble, we fumble. Like when it wasn't okay to curse, and it's okay. Don't you worry. And it's okay to fumble because we're human. This is why I love live. We're being us. I don't give a shit if I make a mistake. It's all right. It happens. Si me tiro un peo en el aire, pasa. What you want me to do? You know what I mean? It happens, you know.
That's
I'm not going to do
about.
it, but I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm all about, bro. Some days I just have to sleep on the couch to protect my wife, because I don't want to bother her at night.
No Dutch ovens, because then you're going to get really kicked out of more than a couch. You know what I mean? I understand. Folks, a Dutch oven. I'm not talking about World War II stuff either, man. Look it up. The marriage couple Dutch oven. It's the worst punishment you could give your spouse. All right?
Oh, man, bro. You know what? In case she's watching, I don't want to say anything bad because then I'm going to hear it when we sign off. So I'll leave the good stories for another time.
Oh man, there we go. Oh man, we got people curious about Dutch ovens now. I think. No, I'm not playing. Thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out with me and JayDee, an amazing creator. From a fan to a creator, I want to say thank you, brother. You rock, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
Pop, I appreciate you bringing me back, and I'm sorry it's taking so long.
It only took 4 years. 4 years.
4 years. So let's cut that in half. Let's say
2 years next time, right?
Yeah.
2025, JayDee will be back.
Brother, you were a busy dude too. You were a busy dude, bro.
You see my calendar. I know, man. But listen,
know.
My door is open for all creators to come here, and I'm ready and willing to talk to everybody. So, I got the schedule. Let's make it happen. I'm clogged up, but it's all right, yo. It's a good time.
I got to book you now for August. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, do it now, baby. That's right. I'm like one of those fancy restaurants and shit, right? Hold on, monsieur. Let me look at the schedule calendar and shit. Hold on. Love it. All right, my brother. You rock. Okay. Everybody, you know what it is. Yo, make sure to follow JayDee everywhere. I've been showing this. You follow him on Twitter at JayDee Rosario and Facebook at JayDee.Rosario. Of course, you go check out the website, unstoppablecomics.com. Go there, spend that money, baby, on That's beautiful independent comic books. And of course, I put the link below as well. The pre-launch page for Storm Chasers Volume 2. 4 issues, over 100 pages. Most likely, baby. Make it happen, yo. Get on that pre-launch. You will be notified when it goes live. And of course, check out my extended family over at Undercover Caption. We're outside the panels, No Prize Podcast, The Film Crusade, K-Pop Cosmos, and a whole lot more. And of course, my website, baby. We have a stable of whole new writers. Welcome aboard, fam. comiccrusaders.com. All right? Hasta la próxima, mi gente. ¡Wepa! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.